Oh my goodness. The Brooklyn Nets win by 45, by far the largest of the season. And in fact, it ties a franchise record. Talk about domination. Hello, everyone, and welcome back into the Brooklyn Boys Show. Sunday, December 14th, Nets history has been made because the last time this franchise put up a 45-point win was way back in January of 1993 over Washington. It was the New Jersey Nets knocking off the then Bullets by a final score of 124-79. Today, they up the ante. 127-82 was the final score. 65 first half points. That is the most of the season in a first half. And they did it all without head coach Jordy Fernandez, who was sidelined due to flu-like symptoms. He stayed home today. He was not at the Barclays Center. But oh my goodness, that was insane. Yegor Gilman got the net started hot. 17 minutes, or rather 17.6 of 8 shooting, including 2 of 4 from downtown, and all that after Jordy Fernandez threatened to reduce his minutes due to poor play. He said that no minutes are guaranteed on this team. You have to earn every minute you get, and he goes out and responds like that. That is a true professional way to respond to a coach threatening to take away minutes. And it wasn't even a big MPJ day. You would think if this team wins a game by 40 plus freaking points, Michael Porter Jr. would have a big say in it, but not at all. Only 12 points in 26 minutes. That's coming off of 4 straight games of 30 plus. But granted, he had almost the entire second half off because Brooklyn was just dominating by that much. They wanted to get some of the young guys in, but all around, a great, great win. This is one of those games where you are going to go back in the locker room and just have no notes and say, that is a spectacular game. You could not have played better. And that's what Steve Hetzel, the acting coach, one of Jordy's assistant coaches who took over the head coaching role for today, should be saying to this team in the locker room, because it truly does not get better than that. And you also love to see the fact that Drake Powell played extremely well in an expanded role. 23 minutes, 13 points on solid efficiency. And that is what you want to continue to see from him. He was in the G League earlier this week, gets called back up, and has a big game, majority of it coming in that second half. But oh boy, the overarching story, what we will continue to go back to, is just how well the Brooklyn Nets played. They tied a franchise record. A team that we thought going into this season could be contending for the NBA's worst season in terms of record in a history of the league, comes out and drops a 45-point win. That's off just last week winning 3 out of 4 games. You drop 1 in Dallas, but get right back to dominating teams. And yes, it is the Giannis-less Bucks. No Antetokounmpo is certainly going to hurt Milwaukee, because right now they're an absolute mess without Giannis on that team. Trade talks are only going to ramp up from here. They're only going to intensify from here, because that's what the team around him is like without him on the floor. But oh my goodness, we are not going to make this about the Milwaukee Bucks. That is a franchise-changing win. You certainly do not see that every day. My goodness. This team shoots 18 of 19 free throws successfully. When was the last time you heard that? Best defensive performance by far this season. Not even close. I couldn't even figure out the last time the Brooklyn Nets held a team under 82 points. Closest they've gotten was January of this year. They held Charlotte to 83. They pick up 14 steals. 14 steals for this team. 4 blocks and score 30 points off turnovers. Insane. And Day'Ron Sharpe picked up 4 of the 14 steals. A center! 4 steals, Day'Ron Sharpe. Oh my goodness. An all-around team win, and that's what makes this one more exciting than you can imagine. It wasn't an MPJ 35-point win where he just put the team on his back. The highest score at halftime for Brooklyn. They scored the most points in a half all season in that first half. Their best first half of the year. And there wasn't a single guy who scored over 10 points. Nick Claxton was the only net in double figures. This game will forever amaze me because it truly, team basketball doesn't get better than that. It does not. Defensively, offensively, Nets couldn't miss from the free throw line. They had stretches where they couldn't miss from 3. But it's a defensive end is where everything starts. This team was awesome in transition, dominated the interior as well they should. A Giannis-less Bucks team, you should dominate on the interior. Only thing, you would have wanted to see more of Nolan Traore in those third and fourth quarters. He's a guy that you really want to get as much NBA action in as possible, and the fact that he only got 9 points in a game that the Nets were leading by this much makes no sense to me. But again, it is Steve Hetzel, so not Jordy's regular minutes distribution, and you could pretty much tell that this wasn't Jordy's regular minutes distribution. I'm not saying that's what contributed to the largest win in franchise history, but you could certainly see a difference in terms of minutes. But you would have wanted to see more Traore on the third and fourth when the Nets were running away with it by that much. I just cannot believe this team won a 45-point victory. Insane. Insane. The Nets had this game over at halftime. It's not like the Wizards game earlier in the year where the Nets won by 20 plus because they were in it midway through the third quarter and then just had a great fourth quarter to run away with it. Great final 8 minutes. Not what happened. Heck, this game was over after the first quarter. They were up by 20 in the first half. And something like the Bucks didn't score the last 7 minutes of the game. I mean, every single stat I see gets crazier and crazier. The Nets franchise did not have a win this big since 93. Oh my goodness. That's almost 20 years before I was born. Put some perspective on this thing. And I said it at, right when that third quarter started. If you're going to beat the Bucks, you better go out there and beat them by 40. And that's exactly what this team did. And it doesn't get better than that. Smash the like button and hit subscribe to continue to help the growth. I'm Josh Woolever for the Brooklyn Boys Show saying have a great night, everybody. Oh my goodness. What a win. And as always, let's go Nets, baby. See you on the next one. Peace.